Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, the 22nd of November, and the snow has been falling in at least Kalmar, and I guess so in Växjö as well, because you are on higher grounds. So how is it in Växjö, Diego?
It snowed a little bit. So the road was white, but I didn't realize when the moment in which it fell.
Yeah. So it was pretty snowing heavily yesterday, actually, and there should be like this snow smocka over all of Sweden, like today and tomorrow. So for the ones that are not in Kalmar and Växjö, you will probably get a lot of snow, I guess, if you're not in Skåne. So I saw a fun tweet. It was like a measuring stick. And then it says, we got almost 50 centimeters of snow in Skåne. And then it was on the ground, and there was a bit of snow, like covering 50 centimeters. So that was 50 centimeters of snow. Yeah, I thought that was funny for Skåne. Well, anyway, here is Mats as well. Welcome, Mats. You are in the middle of examinations, I know. So we will speed this up so you can get back to work.
Well,
and I guess the students...
the next exam isn't... 10, I think.
Yeah.
So we got some time.
Yeah, well, let's get on with it. So, Diego, you had a deadline. It was actually 12 days ago, or something like that, for the assignment one. So, and the next deadline for that assignment, just so you know, is in June. So everybody knows. The second assignment, the deadline is closing in Friday at 12 p.m. We will have a tutoring session this afternoon at 1 for those of you who want to get help or at least discuss possible scenarios. I think we had great discussions last week. So there are room to get help in so we meet in Zoom at 1:15 for those of you who want to join in. So that is the course so far, and now we are starting to look at the next phase of the course and the last phase of the course, and that is the group project. So I will shortly just present the project, and the deadline for this project, it is the last day of the study period. So the 14th, that's actually a Sunday, but so the deadline for handing in the report and everything is the last day of the study period. This is a group assignment, and after feedback last year, I will do it like this year. So I haven't decided on groups yet. I will do that work tomorrow, the 23rd of November at 1 o'clock. So for those of you who have any preferences, make sure to put a DM to me on Slack with your preferences. And preferences, I will handle them anonymously. So you can say that I would really like to work with X, or I would really not work with Y, or X, Y, and Z has together agreed on working together. So just send me your preferences and I will do the best to make groups. There will be a maximum of 3 students in a group and a minimum of 2, except for the exceptions I've already accepted. Because some student had to work in advance to make life work. And you know who you are. You do not need to send me that info because I already have it. So please send me your references on Slack with a deadline of tomorrow at 1. If you haven't sent me a preference, I will try to do my best with the groups anyway. So that shouldn't be any problems, I think. This assignment is it's two parts. It will be a report that you should submit the latest in 2 weeks in the group wiki. You will get a group, and this is what I will do tomorrow. So you will get a group on GitLab where you and your group members can communicate, and there will be a wiki in that group, and in that wiki you will post a report in 2 weeks with some information, and especially with information about the design of the application. The second report will be submitted in the group wiki the 14th of January, and then you will have a little bit more, including a post-mortem and a final delivery with code and stuff. But we will get back to that. The application is called Litter, and this is actually, I think, as what you say, it's as aktuelt. How do you say aktuelt? It's as I lost the word, but as we say here, in the light of recent events, the market for microblog alternatives is sky high. The honorable news media magazine, The Lurch, has planned a big story fronting their January edition. You have read the rough draft with the heading, Litter, ready to take over the world. You foresee a future of heavy traffic load on your application by then. Litter is a microblog with a strict focus on simplicity and performance. So you are going to make a new, I mean, it's called Litter because it's a play with the Twitter, but that is now X, so that doesn't work anymore. But it's still probably good to have alternatives to X. So you are a team that are managing this Litter application, and you know that there will be a heavy traffic load on your application in January, basically. So you need to now develop this application because you have nothing. You have promised gold, but you have nothing. So you need to set it up now. There are some things to consider. You should have some kind of authentication using a third party or local accounts. You can do whatever you like. Instead of posting tweets or X's or whatever they are called, users can post lits to its feed, and the feed is called the litter box. Users can follow other users to see the lits of other users in their feed. And users have a profile page called a pedigree chart where we have a leech button. So you leech other users, you follow other users that way by putting a leech on them. The thing is this one, simplicity is queen. It's not like a focus on making this super client nice with animations and a lot of CSS and stuff. Keep it pretty simple and basic. It's only text messages. Text messages can only be 42 characters long, so there are like limitations. No video, no images, no nothing like that. It's just simple text. You can read more about it here. And there are some non-functional requirements to go over as well. So you can just study those. The thing is, I mean, the focus is basically here on like the product, setting up a product environment, setting up a staging environment. Of course, you are going to do this in Kubernetes. You can have a staging environment that is the same as the production environment, and you do separation by namespace. That is totally fine. Or you can have 2 separate clusters, one for staging and one for production. You need to think about replication. We haven't done replication yet, if you didn't do that by any chance in the second assignment. But now we will get a heavy traffic load, so there will be a lot of read demand on this application. So you need to think about how to set up replication of the database. You should do this by setting up a deployment pipeline, and you need to think about when you are working together in a group, how should we handle branching strategies and things like that. are we working with merge request, or how will we do that? Yeah, that comes under the continuous delivery pipelines principles. And yeah, in an optimal project, we should cover 100% with tests and stuff. You should have tests, but the coverage is allowed to be low. So basically, just implement the test somewhere just to get it into the pipeline. That's the main reason to have this. It's not like you need 100% coverage. Just test something. And there are a lot of optionals as well that you can read about in the course literature and also implement if you like. It's not a requirement. Well, yeah, so the first thing so there are a couple of things to do now that you need to write down or remember. Tomorrow, the deadline for the groups. Then tomorrow, I will create all the groups and set it up on GitLab. And you will be informed about the groups tomorrow afternoon. After that, next Tuesday, we have another tutoring session. It's not Wednesday next week since I'm traveling all Wednesday, but it's Tuesday. So on Tuesday afternoon next week, we have a workshop. And on that workshop, at least one of every group should show up on that workshop. Both or all three are allowed to come. The workshop will be in Zoom. And on that workshop, we will discuss design ideas to implement this functionality. So before that workshop, you need to have some kind of rough design of how your group is going to implement this. Which microservices are involved, which are we using queues somewhere, things like that. You need to have some kind of schematics. And I would recommend everybody to have something like, what I'm looking for is something like this, some kind of picture of how is everything communicating and basically this kind of design chart. So I want everybody to have one of those. Every group should have one of those on that design meeting, and then we will just discuss all the different tactics of implementing this. Mats, you and me and Niklas did a pre-meeting last year where we just had a whiteboard and we did this. I think we ended up in like 6 microservices or something like that. 5, 6. And for this application, you should probably not have less than 3. So the requirement should be in that way that you need to actually have at least 3 different services. And that's because we don't want you to create this as a big monolith. There might be reasons why you would like to create it as a monolith, but for this course, it should not be a monolith. You should have different services. So make sure to have at least 3 services. So last year, I knew students had like 12 services, but then on the design meeting, we could maybe we could simplify this by combining services into bigger services, because it was, you have a limited amount of time until January to implement this. So if you have like 13 microservices, then you have a lot of maintenance and thing to do with that. So I would say somewhere between 3 and 5 and 6 or something like that would be reasonable. But remember, so next workshop, Tuesday at 13:15, at least one from each group needs to be there. If no one can come from the group, I really want you to tell me and give the reason why you cannot be there. So I know that the group has gotten all the instructions. Okay, Mats, Diego, do you have any questions or things to say about this assignment?
Well, not so much, but being in Edinburgh this summer, I was reminded of this assignment, constantly walking around. Every corner I found something called a litter box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is,
I hope the code, the infrastructure you're creating in this project won't
interfere
fit in
with
that kind of litter box.
No, exactly. It's a game of words, of course. Diego.
Yeah, maybe some detail about the test for testing the pipeline. They can make tests, they don't need to have 100% coverage, but it's good that the test that they put, it's easy to make them fail as well.
Yeah.
So, otherwise, if it is always a success, the pipeline is no cannot be tested. So some kind of test that changing something small in the code they can fail.
Yeah, because that would be really good for you to test and see that, okay, so if this fails, you will not continue the pipeline and push it to production or could push it to the staging. So one important thing here is that in the group you discuss the rules and try to stick to them during the development phase. Someone is working on that microservice, someone's working on another microservices, and you have some kind of like integration meetings every day. I think that was the best plan actually for those groups last year that had structural meetings like every day or every other day, and just like on those meetings they made an integration and they discussed like a stand-up, discussed what to do next, and then some of them worked together in like Discord or whatever, and some of them just worked on their own, and then they had a new meeting like the next day or the day after. So try to in the group plan a lot of meetings, and also try to fail things and see what happens, and see how to handle that. That's good. With that, I don't have much more actually. There are no questions that I can see here at least. We will have the tutoring session this afternoon, so please show up if you have any questions at 13:15. We will start off in Zoom, and then after that we will see what happens. So good luck with the rest of the examinations to both students and Mats, I guess. So
I need that.
yeah. Bye.